Storytelling is a powerful way to make people care about products, brands, and courses. It can facilitate sales, marketing, presentations, and about any other task that requires human connections. These sessions were curated to teach you care with personal stories, brand stories, or any other kind of stories using the core elements of narrative and established storytelling frameworks. Now we are adding few more additional tips on how you can effectively use what you have learned in your business or to make effective presentations and even for your sales and marketing pitches. Firstly, let's start with tips on how to use storytelling for building business relationships. Starting with a story gets people's attention no matter what the topic is. And starting and ending presentation with a story creates tension and suspense and relatability, as discussed in our earlier sessions, that makes presentations more effective. Now start with a presentation with a personal photo or something from your personal life, regardless of whether the story has to do with the topic you are talking about. And what's interesting about this is that by conveying a personal story at the beginning of a presentation, people will be more likely to connect with you as a person and more likely to pay more attention, even if the story isn't related at all. Even if it's loosely related or very related, it's even better. Your why you go to this point, why you're giving this presentation is often a very story for you to work in. It can be one of the best presentation tools you can use. Whether you are a business leader getting on stage, whether you are trying to sell something persuasively in a presentation, or if you are just giving the regular status update meeting at your job. Starting with a story is one of the most effective way to bring people to your presentation. Now, the how-to of using stories to make more effective presentations. If you look at storytelling from a psychological point of view or from a neurological point of view, which is what facts and figures don't stick in our mind in the same way the stories do. So if you don't think that your company is interesting or that you are interesting, chances are your people are. Your people have hobbies, backstories and passions that make them human and that make you human. And by sharing those stories, even if they are very unrelated to your company, by humanizing your company through its people, you'll be able to build relationships that make people care through stories. At the end of the day, your company's own story, its purpose and its myth of how it was founded is going to be much more motivating of a story for people to hear than if you just talk about what you are trying to sell. Yes, you are a business. Your purpose is to sell things or make money. But underneath that, the story of why you are doing that is going to be much more important. And that's how you're going to build relationship that people will care about. Now, how about using stories for sales and marketing pitch? Selling and marketing through the story is a very extremely powerful way to get people to convert and get people to buy your products at a much higher rate than if they are just being presented with a simple sales pitch. Another thing that selling through stories will do is what people remember your products later. It's becoming a huge trend in e-commerce and in offline commerce that the story of a product will, all things being equal, make us more likely to choose that product over even things like price and quality. So if you have got something to sell, instead of thinking just about the story of how someone might use your product or why it is great, think about the story behind the product. Think about the story of why you made it and who made it. And that story is going to connect to people and make people remember it in a lot of powerful ways. Every time we find something that we like, we write about it and we tell the story behind the story. Now we request you to please apply these principles we have shared throughout the sessions and start acting on the same and share your feedback, specifically what impact it had on your audience. Looking forward for every of your emails and comments and suggestions. Thank you.